Greetings, YouTube. I know those folks paying attention at home will be shocked at the following information. A review of the Facebook accounts of thousands of police officers across the U.S. found 1 in 5 current officers made public posts or comments that were racist or endorsed violence against black people, Muslims, women, and criminal defendants. Amongst the retired officers, the figure was 2 in 5. The database is the largest of its kind. This is out of BuzzFeed. Yes, I know that BuzzFeed actually did something good. There's an interesting follow-up way at the bottom of this bit of conversation that people are having here on the blue. And this is that more than 50 Philadelphia police officers taken off street after social media posts. And it updated it too a few days later, and the number has grown or at least been clarified. 72 Philadelphia police officers placed on desk duty over offensive social media posts. And that's out of NPR. The Philadelphia Police Department has pulled 72 officers off their regular duties as authorities investigate inflammatory social media posts revealed in a database that found thousands of offensive posts by current and former officers. The city's police commissioner said Wednesday. Police officials in Philadelphia have described the action as the largest removal of officers from the street in recent history. Now we have a quote. "We are equally disgusted by many of the posts that you saw in many cases, and the rest of the nation saw," said Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross. And I think that last bit is the most important part, because I think it was because everyone in the entire nation and potentially the world saw this post that the Philadelphia Police Department decided to come down so hard on their errant officers. Because let's be honest, if only people in Philadelphia heard about this, they may not have come down quite so vehemently on these officers, because less bad PR. But I'm sure, again, anyone paying attention is not going to be shocked at the thought that there are horrible cops in every police department in America. And as someone else in this thread commented, it's more of a bad orchard, and that's the reality. It isn't a few bad apples. It's a lot of bad apples. It's trees worth of bad apples, and a whole lot of other cops that just remain silent. Every bad cop in America would go away tomorrow if all the other cops would turn on them. If all the cops that aren't engaged in criminal behavior turned on the cops that are, they would go away. But the reality is that a whole lot of cops are involved in some kind of criminal behavior, and they cover each other's asses, and all the rest of them are silent. They don't say anything. They don't want to be seen as that guy. But in theory, at least, there are more of that guys than the criminals. But because of the social pressure, everyone's afraid if I say something, my fellow officers will not be there to back me up, which is a horrible thought. But we know this has happened. Cops have been left swinging in the breeze because they've done the right thing and turned in bad officers. And other officers are like, well, I'm not getting near this dude. And people have lives been put in danger. Potentially, I think there have been some cases where cops have actually died because they didn't get the backup they needed. Because they were doing the right thing, as opposed to, say, being racists or harassers or abusers. There are lots of bad cops. And it could be argued that the entire police system in America is just a tool of white supremacy, because in many cases it is. I know it's a tool of classism. The cops are the first frontline troops in the war of the wealthy against the rest of us, making sure that we stay in line, making sure only the little criminals are ever caught, while the big ones pull the strings. And if you think I'm sounding like a conspiracy theorist, no, I'm sounding like a fucking historian. That's how it works. The people at the top get away with it, while the people at the bottom do the time. And the interface between those two groups are cops, particularly bad cops. We've got pictures of cops with white power tattoos on their bodies. And we're shocked in America when black people are being gunned down in the street for holding cell phones? Or black people get shot with their hands in the air, hands obviously empty, and they still get shot? Cops deal with guns every day. Firearms are an integral part of a cop's life in America. A cop can identify a firearm 40 feet away and tell you what that is, because their life depends on it. Cops know what firearms look like. Do you know why cops kill black people in America? Because they can get away with it. The same with brown people. They know they can get away with it. They're going to get a paid vacation, and then they're going to go back on the job. The cop that killed a 12-year-old in a park has a chance of getting a job back in law enforcement, as opposed to, say, spending the next 20 years in prison, which is where he belongs. So that this report's come out isn't really shocking at all. And I'm really glad that the Philadelphia Police Department has stepped up and done something, even if it just is to cover up their own asses. It does make one wonder what they're really hiding. And yes, that is a bit of paranoia on my part. We need to get the bad cops off the street. We need to get them off social media. We need to send them away forever. Away from us. And hopefully into prison where they belong for those that have actually broken the law. But we're not going to be able to do it unless all the good cops join us and help us. Because they're the ones with the information. They're the ones with the ability to make this all go away. So what do we do to convince the good cops to get their ass in gear and do their goddamn job and serve and protect?